Hi there, Lindsay here, the Frugal Crafter. I have an update for you on the new 24 Mission Gold Pure Pigment set that's been on sale on Amazon for between $60 and like $68. It's been a crazy sale. It would go on and off all through August. It may still be on sale, but I paid $61.60 for this set of 26 paints. There's 24 of the 15 ml tubes and then two 7 ml tubes, and or maybe it's, yeah, I think it's like 7 ml tubes in those white and black, but there's 24 of the you know, good colors. And the reason I bought this is because I bought the original 24 Pure Pigment set probably about 5 or 6 years ago for around $80, and I thought the paints were fabulous. And so I checked out this new set because I was thinking maybe I'll just get some extra to have on hand for, you know, the zombie apocalypse or whatever when I run out of paint, if that ever happens. But then I was like, no, that's silly. But then I was looking at what was in the new sets versus this set, and I realized there were 7 colors that did not come in the original 24 set. So I thought it would be fun to show you what colors those were, and then also show you what other colors are in the Pure Pigment line now, because there's 48 colors in all. I've seen a 36 set for sale for like $135 or something, so a lot more per tube. And I think the reason the 24 sets have gone down in price is because they've got the larger sets out now. So this is the palette that I had my Mission Gold paints in. It's a Dr. P.H. Martin palette that I cut down to fit inside of one of these large core tins that the 6 color sets used to come in. Sadly, they come in a tiny tin now. But so my original 24 set are in these big wells through here, and then I mixed up a convenient sap green, and then I had a little tube of peacock blue from Mission Gold that I put in there, and then I added the new colors here and then in some of the smaller little areas there. So I'm going to show you what's new. These I just swatched out on some paper just to have a reference. They have now an autumn orange, PO36. They added a Quin violet, PV19, a dioxazine violet, PV23, a phthalo blue red shade. They just call it phthalo blue, but it's PB15:6. Let's see, they also added the cobalt green deep, PB36, which shifts more. It looks almost more like a cerulean than a cobalt green to me, but anyway, that's there. And then also a cobalt turquoise hue, which is PB28, which is a cobalt blue, but it just leans more turquoise. So like your typical cobalt blue, PB28 looks like that. So, you know, just how they treat the minerals, how they grind it, all that jazz to make one pigment look different ways. So I thought it'd be interesting to look and see, what if you had the set from several years ago when you were thinking about getting that set, what you would get. So this is the cobalt turquoise hue. This is the autumn orange. This is burnt sienna 2, which is PR102. It's actually quite a lovely color. And they also have another burnt sienna that is available. It's not in the set. That's a PBR7. Quin violet. Dioxazine violet, and you can see these swatches on Amazon of the new sets if you want to. So I would check the swatches to see what set you have. You may already have the set with these colors in it, and cobalt green deep. So yeah, I think it's cool that phthalo blue is a phthalo blue that's a red shade, because I think I only have one phthalo blue red shade in my stash. I think it's either Daniel Smith or M. Graham. I can't remember, but so it's kind of neat to have another tube of that. And then let's look at what's new since the original set of 24 came out. So I'm going to set this out of the way because I still have some colors that are drying there. And I don't know if you can buy those palettes from Dr. P.H. Martin's. They might be, they're probably on their website, and they may even be on Blick. I think I've seen them on Blick before, and if I can find them, I'll link them down below. And I'll link this the 24 set I got down below. And if they do have the 48 set on Amazon, I'll link that too, or Blick. Blick is generally kind of pricey for these paints for some reason, whereas they're super cheap on Amazon. I don't know. There's also a set of 36 paints by Mission Gold that come in a palette, but they are not the Pure Pigment ones. There's probably some Pure Pigments in there, but they're generally mixes, not as, which isn't a bad thing. It's just so you know, so you don't order that thing. And I'm getting 36 Pure Pigment colors, but those will be mixes, you know, just so you know. So I put a little dot on the new colors. They have PY53 nickel titanium yellow, or nickel titanate yellow. That is a color I actually have. Cotman used to make that color way back in the day, and I actually have a couple tubes of that. It's a subtly granulating yellow in general. The granulation's hard to see because it's such a pale color. It does not pack a punch, and as soon as I discovered Hansa Yellow Light, I switched from using nickel titanium yellow in my classes, this was back in the 90s, to a Hansa Yellow just because it was much more punchy. But it's a little bit more opaque, it's a weaker yellow, and it's kind of fallen out of favor. You don't see it many places, so it's kind of nice if you love that color, you can find it through Mission Gold. Then they also have a quinacridone yellow light, PY138, that's new. They have, and I don't know how new, this is just new to me from like when I bought my first set, you know, 5 or 6 years ago, maybe 7, I don't know, it's been a while. They also are offering cobalt yellow, which is PY40, also known as Cereleun, and that also can have a subtle granulation to it. There is a tendency for Cereleun to go brown over time, so it's not the most light stable color, but you know, if you want, it's a pure pigment, it's a single pigment. Pure pigment refers to single pigment color, by the way, and that's what this that's what these pure pigment sets boast, is they're all single pigment colors. The nice thing about single pigment colors is that the fewer the pigments in a color, the more clean of a look you'll get, so the less chance you're going to make mud. So that's why their single pigments are prized by watercolorists. And I'm having the hardest time talking today. I apologize. The next color that's new between the two 24 sets that I have is they've changed the quinacridone Scarlet Lake to PR242. It used to be just called Scarlet Lake, and it was PR112. They've also added a quinacridone red, PR207. Most of the reds are quinacridone based, so I guess I thought there was a quinacridone red already, but that's a new one since the paint set that I had. This is a burgundy red, PR177. There is Indothrone Blue, PB60, which is a nice alternative to Prussian Blue if you're worried about the color changing that Prussian Blue can do. It's generally will revive itself, but if you don't like Prussian Blue, if you like Prussian Blue but you don't like that issue, you can do Indothrone Blue. I find Indothrone Blue to be a little less lively personally. It seems a little just dull compared to Prussian in my opinion, but maybe it's the brands that I've used. I haven't used the Mission Gold one. They also offer an ultramarine violet, PV15, a cobalt cerulean blue, PB35, a cobalt cerulean blue deep, PB36. I got the cobalt green deep in the new set, and this is what it looks like. It looks a little bit, it doesn't look as cobalt green as, it almost looks more like a cerulean blue to me, but it's kind of in between actually. And that's what it looks like if you're curious about what the real swatch looks like. I like that cobalt turquoise hue. I bought a tube of cobalt turquoise from Lucas, and it was PB28, although when I bought it, it said it was, what did it say, PB36? PG36, I think. So anyways, when I got it, it was really dull and chalky and awful. This is vibrant and gorgeous, so I just want to let you know in case you have the one from Lucas and you're unhappy with it. That one's nice. Let's see, they've also added Yellow Ochre Light, PBR24. That, I would not mind trying that because that might be kind of like a Naples Yellow. They have Gold Ochre, PY42, which I assume is probably very similar to the Yellow Ochre number 2, both same pigments. They've added a Dark Burnt Sienna, which is PBR7. And their Van Dyke Brown is also PBR7, but it does look a little bit more cool in temperature than their Dark Burnt Sienna, according to that swatch on the printed swatch, which, you know, you can't really totally go by the printed swatch, but just by comparing them, the Dark Burnt Sienna looks a little bit redder than the Burnt Sienna number 2, and it looks way redder and way, like the Van Dyke Brown looks almost greenish. Let's see, they've got a Van Dyke Brown Deep, PBR29. And they've added a Cobalt Black, PBK27. And they've also added a opaque titanium white. It's the same pigment as a Chinese white that comes in small tubes with both of the 24 sets I have. Same pigment, but it's probably just more concentrated, maybe. But there you have it. I thought this might be interesting to you if you have the original set of 24 to see what they've changed. I'm not 100% sure what they got rid of because the swatch in this set, well, I can look at my tubes. The swatch here, the swatch I gave you was the swatch of 24, and it doesn't say what set, what what tubes come in what set. And maybe it's because they change them from time to time. So we can take a look here and we can see what what's different between my originals, the original 24 set in case you have that, and also the set here. We can see what they removed. So let's, you know, I'm going to go by the swatch that came in the box so I don't get confused. So the old set, the original set from 5 or 6 years ago when they first came out, I don't know, however many years ago that was. Let's see, they have a 521 Lemon Yellow, 522 Permanent Yellow Light, 523 Permanent Yellow Deep, 604 Red Orange. Yes, they have that. They added the Autumn Orange. Scarlet Lake. They don't have a Scarlet Lake in this set. And they've changed it to a quinacridone Scarlet Lake with a different pigment number for the now what they offer in their catalog. Let's see. And it looks like there's a red orange in here and that wasn't in there before. Let's see. Permanent Red Deep was in the old one. It's in the new one. Rose Madder. I don't see... Yep, Rose Madder's here. Quinacridone, Permanent Rose. Yeah, they have Permanent Rose. And that's the same number, 512. So that's the same one. Let's see. 519 Permanent Magenta. That's in there. You know, I should be going through this and seeing if it's in... Oh my gosh, this is so confusing. Okay, let me tell you, this is the old chart. Let me tell you if it's in there. Yes, they have it, have that. It has that. Red Orange. It has that. No Scarlet Lake in the new set. Because there's got to be 7 colors that aren't in here. Permanent Red. That's not in there. So they've taken out Permanent Red and Scarlet Lake. People complained about there being too many reds. Permanent Red Deep. That's still there. Cherry Red. Oh, they took out Cherry Red. I love that red. That's a beautiful quinacridone red. Indian Red is that still in here? They took out Indian Red. So they've taken out 3 reds so far. They took out Scarlet Lake, Permanent Red, Cherry Red, and Indian Red. There's 4 of the colors that are gone. Crimson Lake. Did they take out Crimson Lake? Yep, they took out Crimson Lake. So there's 5 of the colors, right? 1, 2. I should make a little mark. They took out that one. Permanent. Yeah, they took out there's a different Permanent Red Deep. There's 574 and this is 511. So that one's done. Oh, they still have that one. They took out Cherry Red, Indian Red, Crimson Lake. Permanent Rose, I think, is still there. Yep, they just added quinacridone to the front. It's the same number. Perelyne Maroon, is that still there? Okay, they took out Perelyne Maroon. I think Rose Madder's still there. Permanent Magenta. Yep, that's still there. 519. So how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's 1 more that they've taken out. Let's see. That's Cereleun Blue. That's still there. Prussian Blue. They took out Prussian Blue. All right, we found them. We found them all. All right, so the colors no longer in it. Prussian Blue, Perelyne, and pretty much reds. They took out reds, I think, because people complained about the reds. Perelyne Maroon, Crimson Lake, Indian Red, Cherry Red, Permanent Red, and Scarlet Lake. So there, we got to the end of this mystery. I will write that down because I will totally forget. So TDLR, you could have just looked at the video description, I guess. Oh, guys, it's been a long day. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're considering this set, I highly recommend it. I mean, all the colors that I have that are duplicates are ones that are kind of, you know, your everyday colors that you use up anyway. So, yeah, I've got no problems. And to save, you know, that to get like 60, to get 24 15 ml tubes for $61. I think that was about $2.50 a tube, somewhere around there. And then you got the small black and white. I typically don't use those, but I keep them. And then when I, you know, I'm doing a class and I need black or white, I just squeeze it right onto their palette and then they have it. So I pretty much just count the value as the 15 ml tubes, but you know, I hang on to them and I use them as need be. The ultramarine light granulates, the cobalts granulate. Their Cereleun is more of a phthalo blue, and their phthalo blue is more of a sapphire phthalo blue red shade. But yeah, I like these paints. I need to use them more. So there you have it. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope it helps you out. Happy crafting!